Hello, everybody. All right, we are all ready to go live. Oh my goodness, I'm crossing my fingers. You know something's going to happen. I'm going to say crossing my fingers. It's all going to go off without a hitch. But when you do like live stream at home stuff, you never know what's going to happen. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Let me make sure I've got my volume off on my computer. That's important. I've got my computer plugged in. We are all good to go. So no power outages, fingers crossed. All right. If you are stopping by today, drop a quick comment just to say hello so I can see that you're here. And yeah, I'm so excited about today's card. We've got something really fun planned. And why is there we go. For whatever reason, my mouse was not working. We're good to go though. So we've got a really fun card planned for today. Waffle Flower had a brand new release that launched on Sunday. So we're like 6 days into it. But I was like, I know I need to do this for an upcoming YouTube live stream. So I wanted to make sure that we play around with their newest addition to their postage collection. And hello, Kelly and Pam. Hello, hello. All sounds good. I'm so glad you guys are here. So today we're going to play around with some of those brand new postage collections. We're going to make a Mother's Day card. I figured now is a great time to go ahead and get into that. We've got kind of about a month-ish notice, which is usually at a good point. We've got Kalinda, hello, and Emily here from Omaha, Nebraska. Hello from the Chicago suburbs. So Waffle Flower is celebrating their 3rd year anniversary of their postage collection. And every once in a while, there's a product that hits the craft industry that I just kind of feel takes things by storm, and you just see it pop up everywhere. And Waffle Flower has done so much with their postage collection in the 3 years that it's been available. And it's super fun. Waffle Flower is a company that is super mindful when it comes to how to put a product together. Making sure that your stencil has appropriate layers, all things that make your your hobby, whatever you want to call it, your job to make the card or project even easier. So we're going to jump in. What do I got today? We're going to be doing the postage collage mom stencil. That's what we'll be using. And Waffle Flowers in the chat. Hello. I'm so excited for you to see everyone here today. We're going to have some fun crafting time, and Waffle Flowers in the chat, so make sure you guys give them some love. I was so gracious that they had reached out and asked if I wanted to play around with anything from their release this month. And like I said, when I saw that it was the 30th anniversary of the postage collection and how much goodies they were coming out with, we just absolutely had to play with something. So I have all of my products for today's live listed down below. I will give a little bit of a forewarning before we get into crafting. It is a lengthy list of products. That's just because we're doing a lot of ink blending today. That's going to be kind of the bulk of today's live, is kind of using our stencil to put everything together. So I've got all the ink colors that I am initially intending on using linked below. I might switch things up. You never know. Okay, so I've got everything linked below, and remember, those are affiliate links, so if you guys make a purchase using those links, I get a small commission. It comes at no additional cost to you, and just thank you in advance for using them. It helps support me as an artist. So let's go ahead, let's switch to our overhead. All right, so we've got our overhead all ready to go, and I am seeing that I need to, let's see, are we all good to go with spacing? Why is this off to the side? We gotta move this over. There we go. All right. I don't know what happened. That's fun. Okay. Anyways, you guys were seeing my mouse pad. I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I do have a 5.5 by 8.5 grip mat ready to go onto my glass mat. I tried to center it as best I can. Y'all know with me when it comes to centering, I struggle a little bit, but we're getting there. But what we're going to start with is we're going to be using, I tried to kind of streamline today's products so you guys don't have to jump too many places, kind of keeping all of our like stamps, dies, stencils is going to, everything with that is Waffle Flower, cardstocks, inks. I'm just going to use Catherine Pooler because we've got a lot of different ink colors going on. Got everything linked down below. So we're going to start with a piece of Favorite White cardstock, and this is by Catherine Pooler. And so we're going to put that onto our grip mat. And I'm going to start with the postage collage stencil, mom stencil. So we're doing, like I said, Mother's Day card, starting with this. And this is, I counted in advance, and let's see if I remembered correctly. I believe this is a 6-part stencil. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I did misremember. It's 5, but that's great. So we're going to use this to get everything all together for today's card. And what's really nice about this stencil is Waffle Flower is so good at making sure you've got the tools to ensure that you're going to be able to put everything together in the order it's intended. So they have a bunch of different etchings on here. They've got, because if you're making an A2 size card, they actually have an etching. I wonder if I should grab a piece of cardstock so you guys can see it a little bit better. Let me grab just a piece of red, just so we have it here. That kind of makes it pop just a little bit. So as you can see, we've got that A2 etching, and then there's also the name of the stencil, and it also has how many stencils and which one this is. So this is 1 of 5, and it's backgrounds. So you know this is the first stencil you should be using for your postage collage, and then you're going to follow them in order. So then we'll go 2 of 5, 3 of 5. And as we get more into detail, Waffle Flower even has color suggestions for you. You don't have to use them. They're just there as a guide, but it's a really great way to mentally keep track of where you're at right now with your card. So like I said, if you want to do your own color combos, whatever works for you, by all means, do what works. We're just going to kind of play around with our best today. And then also they have on the back of the packaging, they give you an idea as to what these postage stamps are going to look like if you use certain colors, just to kind of keep on top of what colors you need to pull. As somebody who was planning everything for today in advance, this was something very helpful to make sure I had the colors I wanted to work with. And I was so grateful that Waffle Flower is mindful enough to put all of these products listed out this way with their suggestion. It's packaging you don't want to get rid of. Like, I like to reorganize some of my packages into different pockets. This is something like, I will be keeping this. You do not want to get rid of this. It keeps everything nice and streamlined. Maybe I'll get rid of the acetate and put it in its own pocket, but this is a need. So absolutely. So let's see, Emily, I just owned my Waffle Flower pop-up star to start graduation cards. That's really exciting. They have fantastic products really for any occasion. Any occasion. So All right, so let's get into a little bit of ink blending. We're going to start and we're going to line everything up. Now, I am going to apologize in advance today. This is definitely a type of card that you might see the top of my head and my hair start to peek through, like on this part of the screen. So if that's the case, I apologize. That's just kind of how I get when I want to make sure I'm lining everything up nice and even. So, okay, so we've got everything with our stencil lined up, and we're going to start with, I don't have a purple 1+ shader brush. So we're just going to go in and I'm going to use just another brush that I have on hand. And I want to do a background color of purple. And I decided I'm going to use Sugar Plum ink from Catherine Pooler, just as kind of a light purple, because our color palette today, we're going to kind of play with like corals, purples, greens, and pinks all kind of mixed together. And I think it's going to be really pretty for a Mother's Day color palette. So we're going to go in with this Sugar Plum. I'm also going to make sure to have just a craft towel ready so that I can clean up any inks, because I know I'm going to be having some cross-contamination. And then we're just going to go in and just sort of start blending that Sugar Plum ink on the stencil, just kind of over it where you want it to go. And this one is probably going to be our easiest layer because we're just going to kind of do one color and just kind of blend it solidly. Now you could do 2 colors if you want. You could go crazy and you could do rainbow backgrounds for each of the stamps. Maybe your mom loves like sunset ombres and you want to do each block as a different color. Really, whatever works for you. So just kind of keep on going, just like this, kind of filling everything in. Loving this Sugar Plum ink. Actually, totally forgetting that I have an ink pad holder that I can use so you guys can see everything a little bit better. And then just kind of keep tapping off. Now, one piece of material that would be really helpful with these cards is if you're going to kind of go in and play around with different color blocking and you don't want to do a lot of color contamination because these blocks are close to each other, a masking tape of sorts or a low-tack tape is definitely going to be a friend. Think like mint tape from scrapbook.com, especially like their 4-inch mint tape. That's going to be really helpful to mask off these different sections. I would say you probably want your tape to be at least 1 inch thick. Post-it notes could also be very helpful. So just keep those things in mind. But really, for the most part, you just need the stencils, paper, and ink to start, and then we'll get into the postage coordinating dies later. So I'm just going in, blending this all up. And then if anyone has any questions along the way, be sure to let me know. I am so grateful that I'm back on my live stream schedule. I know I took last week off because it was Easter and I was out of town visiting family. We had a great time. We have 3 nieces, and one of them was not around. She was with her mom. And the other 2, we wanted to do something kind of fun. So we took them to go see the new Mario movie. And when they go with their uncles, we tell them just get whatever you want. The deal is as long as you eat it, you can have it. And so they got their little kids packs. They added on candy. They had so much fun. And then we took them to go shopping. We didn't get them anything initially for Easter. I'm like, so we'll just take them to go get something fun. And we went to Ulta and Five Below to go pick up goodies for what they wanted. One of them is 9 years old, so Ulta is like the place to go. Y'all know what that's like, you know. So she had a lot of fun, and then the 6-year-old was thrilled to go pick out SpongeBob things at Five Below. So it was a fun time. Ate some good food, spent time with family. All right, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so we've got everything with our Sugar Plum ink all good to go. Ooh, Vicky, your Waffle Flower order's arriving Monday. Yes. They have such fun stuff. They really, really do. I love how Waffle Flower has everything that coordinates. All right, now the script mat is very grippy because I'm struggling to get the stencil off, but it'll get there. I need to channel my inner Megan Andrew and get my tool that helps me with this. She always uses her Spellbinders flat edge like spatula, and I need to get something like that. I agree, Vicky. I agree. All right, so I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to have to clean. I'll clean later. So now we're going to go in with number 2, which is our light and medium images. And you want to use those etchings just to make sure everything lines up the way that it's supposed to, because that really is the key to making these stamps look good, is ensuring that all of the stenciling and the marks line up and you don't have too much that like overlaps. I am going to need to get one of those spatulas. I'm already sensing that. There we go. Okay, I'm going to grab a spatula really quick, and I'm going to grab my 4-inch mint tape just because it's right here, just so I've got it. And we're back. All right. So now what we're going to start with is we've got some leaves. We've got a tote bag or a purse. We've got a book that says pink, and it's got all the different color recommendations. So we're going to kind of just run with this. Let's take a little bit of our 4-inch mint tape and mask off some of these center pieces. So just mask that for now. And just that for now. Just like this. Perfect. And let's go in and start blending some green. Let's start with some Garden Party. We might go into some Lime Ricky, but we'll see. No worries, Tiffany. I'm glad you could stop by. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a good Saturday. So we're going to tap off a little bit of the excess. And then everywhere that there's leaves, I'm just going to go in with this Garden Party ink and just sort of fill in. Now, also, you might get a little bit of ambient noise. I do have the window in my studio open just because it's like a nice, crisp upper 50s today. And I just like keeping the craft space a little cooler, especially if we're doing a live. Because I can't run fans. I usually operate running like a tower fan in our studio, and it creates too much noise. So I don't do that. But I was like, we'll open a window. Hopefully the birds are on their best behavior. Hopefully my husband, oh my gosh, my husband has one of those bird buddy feeders. And I think we're on almost I don't know if this is year 2 or 3 with it, but we get lots of birds in our backyard, and I'm like, hopefully they're well behaved today. So, is the weather in the suburbs of Chicago as beautiful as here in Wisconsin? What temperatures are you dealing with, Tiffany? It's like beautiful and sunny today, like no complaints. We're supposed to maybe get some rain later this evening, which is fine with me. It's going to be nice and dark. So whatever you're dealing with over there, oh my gosh, with the cheese. You guys do have good cheese. Oh, we don't want to do down there yet. I don't want to do that part of the no, I do want to do that part of the shoe. That's actually recommended, doing that as green. So let's do that all together. All right, just like that. Green, 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 green. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to go, I know that says yellow, but I'm going to kind of take a creative liberty. Yep, Tiffany, we're dealing with just about the same as you are. And that sounds lovely, doesn't it? So we're going to mask off these different little areas just to make sure we don't cross-contaminate our colors. Y'all, Waffle Flower makes this just so easy to like put everything together. And it's not just their postage collection. They are so good when it comes to die cuts that have coordinating stencils and making sure all of those etchings line up. It's wonderful. I'm just, I can't boast about it enough. So, ooh, Alexa in Tennessee, it's 81. That is warm. That is definitely warm. All right, we're gonna go in with, let's see, let me grab my pink. Ooh, these are a little snug. That's okay. And let's see. For pink, what do we want to do? Let's do like a mid-tone pink. We'll do Do-Si-Do, which is a good kind of light coral color. And we'll do that down here. And then up here as well. Just sort of blend that in. One of my favorite Waffle Flower products is their Christmas mousse die set with coordinating stencil. Oh my goodness, it's so good, you guys. Seriously, one of my favorites. Or their winter birds. Ugh, just my favorite. I did hear about the potential move of the Bears. I did hear about that. That's very interesting. It's been something with, I mean, I'm not a very big sports person over here. Um I like to watch sports as they become like, if a team's doing well, like I'll tune in, you know. I was very excited. I am a graduate of the University of Illinois. And if you guys would have seen, if you saw last weekend, they were in the Final Four for March Madness, which was like the first time in 20 years. They did get knocked out, of course, by UConn. But we did watch that game. So that was pretty exciting. But other than that, I'll watch like the Super Bowl. That's about it though. But yeah, so a little bit about what's been going on. So the Chicago Bears, their stadium is like the smallest capacity stadium in the NFL because it's a historical stadium that's right along Lake Michigan on Lakeshore Drive. And they have been contemplating moving to a different facility. But of course, they're going to have to build something. There really isn't an existing structure you can move into. So they originally had purchased a racetrack that's in the suburb of Arlington Heights. If you guys are familiar with the Chicagoland area, it's very close to, it's like right next to Schaumburg, which is where we have the big Woodfield Mall. So they purchased this I don't want to call it dilapidated, but like a closed down horse racetrack, and they were intending on building like a whole facility over there. And instead of building the facility, they didn't. And they're going to look at other possible places they can move to, which now include going to Indiana. So I don't know. It's wild. This is the world of sports, I suppose. We're gonna go in now with some cashmere, and we're gonna use this as the base of our purse. I'm just gonna kind of blend this just like this. I know it said yellow, but I wanted to go in more brown. Woodfield Mall is definitely a good mall. If you guys are ever in the Chicago area, what my recommendation is, Woodfield Mall is a big mall and it's a very popular mall. My favorite mall in the Chicagoland area is actually Oakbrook Mall, which is probably about 25 minutes of a drive from the Woodfield area. You go south and then you go east a little bit. I love Oakbrook Mall. It's an outdoor mall, but it's not an outlet mall. So it doesn't have that like value shopping vibe to it, which is not a problem. But like you guys know what I mean when you go to like a premium outlets or something, what that works like. This is like a standard mall. It's just got real good, like, I think it's got good energy, a good selection of stores. There are some that are a little, I don't want to say like high end stores, but some that you're not going to find in your standard enclosed malls. Like they have, or they used to have one of my favorite cooking stores, the Sur La Table. That used to be there, which is, oh, I could really spend hours in that store. I have like dreams of having a full Le Creuset Dutch oven and cast iron collection, and like I just love the colors and looking at them. But anyways, see, I'm just talking 23 minutes in, and we're on stencil number 2. But I do love me Oakbrook Mall. So all right, so we're gonna go in. Let me pick this up. Now, another thing, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a forewarning, I'm dog sitting this weekend. I'm dog sitting my parents' one dog. So if you do hear a little bit more of a noise from a dog, his name is Hans. He's in the den with me right now. So Hans is here. And he's a good boy, but he barks sometimes, and that's okay. All right, let's go in with stencil number 3, which is still working on those light and medium colors. All right. All right, we need to make sure this all lines up. Okay. I think we're just about there. All right, now we're going to start entirely over. It's just hard with the etch marks to do it when I'm not looking like directly overhead. And it's fine. I will adjust. It's just like doing a live. It's nothing about the actual product itself. It's a Justin problem. All right, let's make sure this is all lined up. Perfect. Let's see, and it's gonna go down just a little bit. See, I told you guys you get the top of my hair a little bit, and that's okay. All right, so we're just going to kind of keep going in. Make sure this is all lined up. I think we're just about there. There we go. This looks great. Okay, perfect. So these are red flowers. Yes. All right, so we're going to go in with a light red right now. We're going to go in with some cotton candy, which is more along the lines of a pink. And let me grab that. And we're going to add this here. It's a super soft, like light corally color. For projects that require a lot of ink blending like this, do you recommend a specific type of cardstock, or will any white cardstock work? It's a great question, Alexa. I do actually recommend investing in a cardstock that is better or proven to be good for ink blending. I wouldn't say any white cardstock at all. That's actually this is a really good question, because I think that's kind of a common misconception, is that like all cardstocks are good for everything. So what I usually do when it comes to white cardstock, I personally recommend Catherine Pooler favorite white cardstock, or favorite cardstock in white, which is what I'm using right now. Or I also really like Simon Hurley's Stark White cardstock. And the reason that I like both of these is because they are made by companies that also make ink colors, and the papers are designed to work with their inks. So I know they're going to work appropriately, especially with Catherine Pooler. They do ink blending, but they also do like silhouette image stamping. So that's why I recommend that. I know a lot of people also like the Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock, either an 80 or 110 pound. The 80 pound is going to be a little bit cheaper. People like that. I don't really have a full on review of that, but it's definitely something that you could play around with. And I know that some places sell like smaller sampler packs that you don't have to invest into an entire ream. But also, I do have the Catherine Pooler cardstock that I'm using today linked in the description down below. Definitely consider, if you need to add a good smooth white cardstock to your stash for blending, it's a good one for that. I definitely stand behind this one, and it is one of my favorites. All right, so we're going in. Let's do pink for the shoe. Just like this. Da, da, da. I do want to do a different color for those two flowers. All right, so let's do, before I go in, I want to do dark red hearts over here. So we're going to go in with some Samba ink. And I hope that helps, Alexa. Oh, good thing I don't. I was waiting for my device to like listen and start telling me something. She might start talking. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to go in with a little bit of Samba ink. Oh my goodness, that's funny. All right, so we're going to do just a little bit of Samba for the hearts up here, because I want them to be a little bit darker. So just like this. Awesome. Put that away. I need to get more of these shader brushes. They're really nice, especially for these stencils. I have 5 of them, so I'm like using them very creative. Oh no, wait, I have 6 of them. I must have gotten a bonus one somewhere. Maybe it was like a free with purchase at scrapbook.com. But anyways, okay, so we're going to go in. I'm going to use a little bit of Bellini ink right now, and we're going to use this Bellini to do these flowers. Just kind of go down here. I thought little orange flowers would be pretty. Yeah, just switches to be called. That's smart. I'm sure in your household, definitely, right? Also, just while we're doing a little bit of ink blending, if you guys haven't yet already, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I am trying my best to go live every Saturday, unless we have some ongoing commitments. Or if I need to reschedule, I will. Usually we go live Saturdays at 1 p.m. Sometimes it's going to be at 10 a.m. if I've got to switch things. I know that's a little early for our friends on the West Coast. However, if you are an early bird, I invite you to join me with your coffee and just listen to your morning chat show with me talking about crafting and maybe your favorite products. You never know. But yeah, so make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, if you guys want to like this video, that's always helpful too. So I appreciate that. All right, next we're going to work on, I just have to do this. And this is going to be some darker brown. we're going to use, I used cashmere, and we're going to use over coffee next, I think, which is one of my favorite colors. This is one of my favorite color Catherine Pooler inks, my goodness. All right, so we're just going to kind of go in and just sort of blend those lines. And I'm sure it would have been a little bit more fun if I didn't do a brown bag and would have leaned more into like a color, but I still really like this color a lot. All right, just kind of go in. I'm just kind of doing gentle motions with my hands so I don't have to worry about cross-contamination, and because I didn't mask anything, which is okay. But just be mindful of what you're doing, you know? All right, so let's go in. This grip mat is so helpful right now. I'm so happy with this. These grip mats are seriously the best for these postage mats. My goodness. I live in Fort Wayne and would like to go to Chicago. Is there a craft store I need to know about? There's a place in a town. I don't know any like in Chicago, but there is in a town called Frankfort, which is a little, it's south. It's southern suburbs. If you're familiar with the Orland Park area, it's called One Paper Place. That's a good one to check out. There's also Craft Fancy, but that's more on the north side. I think they moved. They used to be in Arlington Heights. Funny enough, the same place that the Bears were considering moving to. However, they're in a new place now. I don't remember if it's like Mount Prospect. That sounds familiar. All right, so we're gonna go in with layer number 4. All right. Oh, I gotta shade the book. That's okay. All right. Oh, and it's a lot of red stuff. That's okay. But I can also change the color too, so it doesn't have to be the color that's listed. Remember that. You can do whatever you want. Let's see. Just like that. All right, that's pretty good. So we're going to go in. Let's do, for these flowers, it says red, and I do have them as red, so we're going to do a little bit darker. We're going to go in with some Coral Cabana. Now, I do want to talk about Coral Cabana for a second. Catherine Pooler did just announce they're retiring a couple of their colors, and Coral Cabana is one of the colors that's retiring. It is currently still in stock. I do have it listed below. Because it's retiring, they are having a retirement sale that you can get this for 15% off along with any coordinating Coral Cabana colors. But just keep in mind, it's not a color that's going to be around forever. So if you feel inclined to purchase it, I would maybe consider also purchasing one or two, an extra ink refill, just so you don't lose out on it. Because once it's gone, it's gone. All right, so you're going in. Got that. And then let's see. We're also going to do, ooh, I don't want to do red over there. I have another idea. So we're going to do, that says pink. So I'm going to maybe go in with the same pink as before. All right. And then we're going to also use Coral Cabana down here. Just like that. I probably should go a little darker, honestly. Yeah, we'll go a little darker. Actually, no, I like that. We're going to stick with Coral Cabana. And then let's go in and do our sunglasses and Coral Cabana, our book, all of this, all these goodies, Coral Cabana. If anyone has any more questions, be sure to drop them down below. Be happy to help. All right. And that. All right. And then I think I want to do it says to do red. If I do something else, no, we're going to stick with red. We're going to keep it darker though. I was gonna do, I'm thinking about, instead of doing Samba over here, of doing Glam, which is a real deep purple, and I'm just gonna say we're gonna do it because I think we need a little bit more purple for this card. So let's go in, let's see. I say we do it, right? This was kind of a last minute addition that I wasn't planning on, was this Glam color. But I think it's gonna be pretty. Oh yeah, this is a good choice. Super pretty. Okay, so we've got our Glam. Happy with that. And then we're going to go in. We've got to do the two different hands. And we're going to use two different colors. The first one we're going to use is clay mask for our hand colors. I'm actually going to use that for both the hands being shown. So let's go in. I've got another shader brush. And we're just going to kind of add it in. Now, clay mask is part of the Spa line of colors. So it's not as vibrant as the other ones, but I thought that this color would work really well. And I am finding my instinct was correct. Excuse me. All right, perfect. So let's remove this. Excuse me. I think it's really pretty. I don't also know why my screen just kind of went warm. That's interesting. No worries, Judy. Yeah, I wonder why that went warm. That's interesting. Let's see. Do I need to maybe... Let's see if I could... Nope, we want it the other way. Interesting. I don't know why I feel like my color balance just kind of went off a little bit, but that's all right. All right, let's keep going. And next what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to use our final layer. This one might require just a little bit more finesse. And honestly, okay, you guys know I love my alcohol marker coloring. This is like on par with me with my coloring, and it's not taking super long to do. And I love that. All right, so I just want to make sure this is all lined up. All right, and I'm going to figure out why this is like just a little on the warm side. All right, so we're going to put that down just like this. Awesome. Okay. Maybe I need to remove things from, maybe I have too many things going on with my mat. Who knows? All right. It was this. This is where it came from. Okay, so we're going to take that off for now. And then we're going to do this final layer. So this one, we're just going to kind of keep going with these color suggestions. I am going to use, let's do a little bit of that residual glam that's on our brush already. Just kind of do it over here. Just like that. To darken the center of those flowers. And then let's also go in and blend this up. This is kind of like a paper bag color. So we're going to go in with some sandcastle. Just like this. And we're going to use our brown blending brush. They're really cool, Kristen. They're really cool. And there's so many. I mean, just in the last release alone, there's so many options. So we're going to go in and we're going to do this sandcastle. I kind of went a little dark, so maybe we'll do a little less. That's okay, though. Probably should have masked a little bit, but we're all good. That's okay, Carmen. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you're here today. It's really a good collection. I'm really happy to create with this with you guys for today. I think it's going to be super fun. I love how this is turning out so far. All right, we got that. Let's also use our residual glam ink down here for the shoe. Just like that. Awesome. Actually, let's do a little bit of extra glam ink. Interesting that the white balance of my screen was getting thrown off by my ink pad holder. Didn't think that was going to be a problem, but we solved it. All right, so we've got that. I also want to use what's ever residual of my sandcastle ink and blend up this coffee cup. Just like this. Just to give it a little bit of an off-white shading. So you can kind of play with the different inks. Hey, Megan, I was talking about you. I don't have your fancy spatula, but I had to grab my spatula and I said I'm going to channel my inner Megan Andrew and use it to kind of get my corners up because I was having a hard time. Hope you're having a good day. I need to text you about IKEA. I keep thinking about it. But Megan Andrew is here, y'all. I was also talking about the Frankfurt area. People asked if there's any places to visit in Chicagoland for a craft store, and I remembered One Paper Place. So we had that. Anyways, all right, so we're going in. What else am I going to do? What else is Justin doing? We got to do over here, and these are kind of on the darker side. So let's go in with some blackjack and just kind of color those in. I'm just going to kind of blend over here. Blend these sunglasses. And then blend this phone screen. I love my Catherine Pooler inks, Carmen. I also have the full collection. I've been building it for years. Next to my Distress, it was the next line that I started to incorporate into my crafting stash. And I love the products. I just think they're super, super fun. I love that there's like a balance between like the subtle colors of Spa, the vibrant colors of Party, the necessary neutrals. So yes, definitely good inks to pull in. Let's do the residual glam over here on this book. I think glam is kind of the necessary color of all of this. I'm very happy that we started to include it. All right, so we've got that. We've got to do our hands. We just kind of have those little three things over there. Let's go in. I also want to do some flower centers. Let's use Bellini. Springfield, Ohio. Hello, Teresa. Thanks for stopping by. You almost just saw me use a blue blending tool with my orange ink, and that would have been no good. But that's okay. That's what we're here for, learning along the way. I was just so excited to see someone here for the first time. I accidentally almost mismatched my colors. Oh, thank you so much, Sonia. You're so sweet. I appreciate the kind words. All right, let's see what this Bellini. Is that what I want to use? I think so. Ah, no, I know what I'm supposed to do. I was supposed to use creamsicle on these flowers, and now we're going to do Bellini. But I think that works pretty good. Oh, one of the astronaut dies. That's so fun. Is it the scrapbook.com astronaut? That's one of my favorites, but whatever one you have on hand, I'm sure is super cute. There's also, I know that Trinity Stamps, I think it was last year, they had a really fun outer space release, maybe like spring, summertime. And I have a stamp set from them as well, which is super fun. All right, now we just got to work on the two hands. Let's do, what ink were we going to use? Let's go in with buttercream. Is that what we want to do? Yeah, we're going to go in with buttercream. And I guess I had my blender in my hair. And we're just going to kind of roll with it. All right, just kind of going like that. Oh, you're so kind, Judy. Thank you. Sonia, quick little tidbit. If you have an ombre paper pack and it's like darker ombre, so you can use those as faux space backgrounds if you splatter on them. I did that with that set and it was super fun. All right, you guys, we're finishing this up with some buttercream ink. I think my desk is just entirely filled with different ink colors, but that's okay. So we're going to go in and let's do a good old peel reveal and see what we came up with. We're removing, and we're loving. This is so fun. I love these colors. I think we picked out some really good ones, and they all coordinate so well. So yay, 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 yay. This makes me so happy. I know it took like 45 minutes, but I always take into mind, like, we're chatting, have a good time along the way. If I wasn't talking with y'all, it would have been quicker. So ombre paper pack is in my wish list. It's a necessity. Tried one with the gradient paper and one with the background I made myself. Love that, Sonia. Oh, and then Judy found me during blending boot camp. I loved blending boot camp. That was one of like my favorite events I've ever done, and everyone was so lovely. So glad you found me there. Thanks for being here. All right, so let's go in. I've got this all taken care of. I would like to remove this from my grip mat, just like this. Thank you so much, Sonia. So pretty. Could you zoom in for a second? I was going to bring it a little closer so you guys could see it. So here you can see all of the little elements. I think that we came up with a really fun color palette. It's a little different than the description of what was on the back of the packaging. And that's the fun of it. You know, you do what you want. That's your own custom sort of card. And I just love how this turned out. I love the book with the hearts. I love the little shoe. I know some of us have moms that like love to run and exercise. So like that little running shoe is so necessary. And even if they don't exercise, moms are always on the run, you know? So like they're always doing something. So I think it's just so, so cute. It's such a good set, Sonia. I do have all of the products from today's live listed down below, just for shopping convenience. All of the Waffle Flower products we're using are first on the list, so definitely check them out. I'm going to go ahead and put this away. I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my packaging for this, because when you get your grip mats, they're going to come with 2 pieces of acetate to kind of help it. If you rip one or something, if there's a problem, always remember that you can like buy your own acetate and use that. I've used some different store-bought acetates that are a little bit thicker, and they actually help me kind of keep track of all of the product. So I just kind of do the top and bottom, and then I tuck it away just like that. All right, flip it over, get to it later. Hello? Oh, wait. 74 catches. Kachis. If I'm saying anything wrong, I'm so sorry. 74, thank you for being here. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to die cut this out. So I'm going to grab my postage collage die, which is wonderful. And we're going to line everything up with this. And that's not good because I almost just cut one of my dies in half, and we don't want that. And what you want to do is make sure that everything is nicely lined up with your dies. So you just kind of got to play with it a little. Make sure all your borders look decent. We strive for as close to perfection as we can without it looking like it was manufactured by a machine, right? Hello, Clara. Thanks for stopping by. All right, we're going to tack down our die. I'm going to push it down. Okay, making subtle little movements just to get everything lined up. All right, let's do it like that. And now I am going to pull in my die cutting machine. Y'all know I don't like doing that just because I feel like it's big and clunky, but that's okay. Any die cutting machine, not mine specifically. But I am going to pass it through twice just because of those little perforated holes. I do want to make sure they pop through. So we're going to do that. And I've got my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And go ahead and get it. The coffee cup in the shoes is your mom's life. I get it, Sonia. That's like my mom's life too. If there was also something that was like a mom boss, sort of like working mom sort of thing, that would be my mother. I talked to my mom earlier today. She has me, my mom has a horse. So I know I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. And I've kind of talked about it before, but my mom has a horse that she boards, and she's having me do a card class at her stables in a couple weeks on a Saturday, actually. So I'm going to see if I can do a live stream and the class, but if I have to reschedule, we'll see. But let's go ahead. Let's do a good old reveal. Let's hope that I lined everything. Oh, you guys, I love this. Isn't this cool? We got to, of course, poke out all the little circles and make a mess, but that's okay. Hello, Eastern Girl. Thank you for being here. So we're gonna poke out all of the little holes, and it's gonna look like a postage sheet. And I am loving this. Let's see. I got this. I feel like these tools, these like die cutting brayers or whatever they're called, are a little on the obnoxious side just in terms of using them, but they really do help. Especially doing a live, I can kind of get it taken care of kind of quickly. So All right, so we're just gonna kind of keep going. All right, kind of clear them all out. There we go. All right, so we've got our little postage sheet all ready to go. Isn't it fun, Tiffany, that we're doing a card class? We're doing so it's at a horse stable. I have a horseshoe shaker die. Now my neighbor is gonna do freaking home improvements. Frickin' is probably the closest I've ever come to actually saying like a bad word on one of these lives. If you excuse me, I'm going to go shut my window. One moment. Always something. It's always something. All right. So what you can also do with these, and I know you guys are going to be like, oh, but it's so pretty like this. I do love the sheet, but I want to do them more as like a postage, like make my own collage. So we are going to actually cut all of these apart. Um, I know Mother's Day can be hard for some people, Tiffany, and of course I understand that. And part of me with today's live, I was like, I always take into mind that Mother's and Father's Days can be kind of difficult. And so any of you here who, if your moms are no longer with us, and Mother's Day might not be super easy, just know that everyone, I mean, just know that like today with making a card for our moms, I'm thinking about you guys too. I know it's hard and I appreciate you guys for being here, especially with harder days like that. And I still think it's a good day, even though it might be hard. Like, and we would go through, I know when we lose somebody, thinking about them often, but having like another dedicated day to really kind of sit and think about good memories. So maybe that's a little bit of something to think about or to keep in mind, but we all have our different ways of processing everything. And please don't let me be someone to tell you what needs to be done with that, especially someone who hasn't gone through it yet myself. So thinking about y'all though, sending you some love. All right, so let's go in and we're going to put this away. We're going to put our die away and clean up our workspace. And then what you can do is you can take your scissors and just sort of cut these apart. Just nice and easy. So we're going to do that. There's one. I'm actually glad that there's like not a die to do this. They're like, just do it by hand. Maybe there is a die and I'm not aware, but I feel like I'm someone who's notorious for like not lining up my dies correctly. And I would hate to spend all the time that we just did doing this beautiful stencil work. And then it's like, oh, but you put your die in the wrong spot. So now your lines are wonky, you know? Because that's a Justin problem. I'm like always struggling with coordinating dies. It's just like my life story. All right, so we've got our little stamps all ready to go. So let's do a little bit of embellishment with them. So the other thing that Waffle Flower has that's really cool is they've got some coordinating stamp sets that you can use. This is not one of them, to sort of decorate your cards with the postage elements. And you can add fun little like postage marks onto them. So we're going to do that today. I think it's a good idea to just sort of add in a little bit of fun. So let's go in. I'm going to play. This is the postage collage stamp set. This is part of like the general release. This is part of the general collection. This is not a product that was recently released. This is like when it started, but it's kind of like a staple. I've got this link down below as well. So definitely, if this is a collection you guys are loving, keep that in mind. So we're just going to kind of go in. This might take a little bit of time because we're going to stamp out some different, a bunch of different like words and whatnot. But we're going to go in and like this one is 50 cents. And we're going to take, let's take like this long one. And now it's like a 50-cent stamp. Oh, Tara, that's so such a unique situation. Me and my husband have looked into adoption ourselves for family planning, and it truly is something that it's such a unique situation, and there's more moving parts than usual. And I remember I saw somebody once post something about like who is also had adopted their child, about saying that like it is not lost on them like the situation that they received their child in, and like where their child came from, and like also celebrating that mother too. It's all important, you know. Family is what we make it, and I think honoring everyone is so sweet. So all right, so let's keep going in. Let's do some more set sort of details. Y'all get me all over the place with this. These little details really do add a lot. I agree. And if it's not perfectly lined up, it's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, so we're going to keep on going in. Let's do a 15-cent stamp. I wish stamps were only 15 cents, right? I agree. I like using the glam ink too. I think that it just really nicely like ties all of this in. I just want to make sure that I'm using this glam ink where it doesn't blend in. Maybe 15 cents on this big one is not accurate, but it's okay. All right, so that's 15 cents. Just trying to keep track of all of this. Let's see what else. Let's do, this one says 30C. We are considering our options, definitely. Lots to think about. But that's not a dismissive statement by me by any means. All right. 30 cents. And then we're also going to add in some fun postage marks as well. The only thing is when you do it like this, you kind of have to make sure to kind of stop between each color or each stamp, just to make sure you're doing everything you can to like keep everything organized. And that's okay. So let's see. What else we got to do? This one. Let's do one that says express mail. Hey, Josie, you're right. You're right. Not even, that's so true. All right, so let's go in. Express mail, express mail. Just like that. And I think I also want to add express mail to this one too. So we'll get 2 impressions. And then let's see. I still want to do something over here. I just don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out. My daughter was born on Sunday morning, which happened to be Mother's Day. Can't top the gift of a, oh, how sweet. Can't top the gift of the first grandchild. So sweet, Emily. So glad you guys are loving this card. Think about how happy you would make your mothers. Oh. All right, so we're going to do something in the bottom corner for this one. Let's do a little 9C for 9 cents. This is like the littlest stamp I've ever seen, so we got to make sure to keep tabs on it. We'll do that down here. It's a little 9C. Oh, this is looking so cute. Okay, we also need to have something up there too. Josie, really aren't they like amazing when it comes to this collection? Like they just keep going with it. When you think that like you run out of ideas, like there are more. I love that. All right, let's do another 15C. We'll do it right up here. That one was a little bit of a darker impression, but that's okay. All right, so we're keep on going. All right, what else? Do I want to put any other postage marks on this still? Maybe we'll do an airmail one on that one. That could be pretty. All right, we're getting there. We are definitely getting there. And I do want to do a couple embellishments from the mom and dad stamp set. We'll make sure to use that too. All right, we'll put this. This is not meant to be a straight line at all. Do it like that. I'm actually looking at this and I'm thinking I did that kind of wonky. That's okay. We will make it all work. I think the stamps for, yes, definitely the stamps for these occasions are so perfect. Yeah, so this one I kind of did. I stamped them incorrectly and I made it kind of like this. I think it still kind of works, but it's meant to go like this. It's fine. We're going to do a couple more embellishments using the Postage Collection Mom and Dad stamp set. So let's go in, do this little ribbon that says number 1 mom. We'll do that. I think if we put it like on the purse, that would be so perfect. Just like that. What else? Ooh, there's a little flower. We'll use that one. That'll be pretty. I do think that these details are so important just to sort of dress the card up. Let's see. Let's also do a flower over there. I think we're kind of at a stopping point. I think that's enough. I could do like one other thing over here that says like love you. I think we'll do that and then call it with these stamps. What do you guys think? You don't want to like overdo it. You don't need too much embellishment. Oh, this one will say for mom instead of love you. I think that's special. And it looks like it's on the book. Okay, we're good. I love using the glam ink for it. I think it's such a nice little touch. Oh, Liz, I'm so glad that this helps. This is such a great way to kind of see how everything is supposed to work together. I think Lawn Fawn, I said Lawn Fawn. We're not using Lawn Fawn products. Clearly, I think Waffle Flower does such a fantastic job putting all of this together. Sometimes my words, I just open my mouth and whatever comes out, my goodness. Okay, so we've got all this ready. We don't have too much left to do. So what I want to do for this card, I have a pre-cut piece of creamsicle paper, and this is a cardstock by Catherine Pooler. I also have this grass texture die from Waffle Flower, and I just thought it would be special to run this to give it like a little bit of like a grass feel to it. I think it's just a nice little added element. But what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of ink blending with this first. I'm just trying to figure out what color we want to do. And I want to pull in a color we've used already. Let's see. Maybe I'll use Coral Cabana. Oop. Well, it went on vacation. All right, let me go grab that and I'll grab a blending brush. And let's see. Grab this. And I just want to do just a little bit of blending. All right. I think it is a really pretty color. So we're just going to kind of go in and blend those edges up. Not doing too much, but just sort of making it a little darker. Just like that. And I think it's just going to add a really nice feel to this card. That glam ink pad that I used, I just found out for whatever reason I don't have it. There's also coordinating cardstock in that color. Oh, need, add to cart, amazing. My goodness. Oh, Josie, you're so sweet. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Josie says, highlight someone's name. I've always wondered how you do that. Highlighting someone's name, or if you're talking about tagging someone when you're doing, like when you're watching this is what I've found, Judy. And if this is not what you're talking about, I'm sorry. When you're on your phone, it doesn't highlight names if you like at somebody, but if you're on a computer and do it, it does. And you can see the highlight. I don't know why YouTube does it that way, but they do. So just kind of going in, blending up these edges. I think this is a really sort of sweet color combination, and I'm really excited to use this texture dye with it. This was part of the, I don't remember what month, if it was the March or February release with Waffle Flower, but it was when they came out with their Easter collection, which of course has more postage collection. Thank you so much, Megan. I think it's a really fun card. And the thing is my mom follows me on social media, so I don't think I'm going to be able to give her this card. So I'm going to see if maybe I can hide it so it can be like for my mother-in-law. We'll see. Sometimes she sees my stuff though too. She's just less on the socials than my mother, I think. All right. Just kind of go in. And if you guys can see, there's just such a slight shadow around the edges, and that's exactly what I'm going for. Oh, I know you love a spatula. You're like the spatula queen when it comes to crafting. You're probably the spatula queen when it comes to cooking too, you know? Because we know you are good at both. All right, going in. Let's see. So we've got that. I also would like to do a little bit of splattering, which means I need to make sure these are flipped over. And let's go in. We're going to go with some Samba ink because it's just a little darker. Ooh, we're already after the 2 o'clock hour. That's okay. I'm going to tap off a little bit of excess. No, that's not excess. I'm going to just put a little bit onto my pad. We're going to wet it. And then I'm going to take a clean watercolor brush. Just like this. Tap. And just sort of splatter. Just to kind of, and I probably should grab a splatter box. Why I don't, I guess is just probably laziness. All right. Perfect. Here you guys got it. We've got our little splattered background all ready to go. It is local, definitely. Very close to you, particularly. All right, so we're going to let that sort of dry for a second. And let's see. And now all we really have to do is prepare our sentiment parts. Sibling vibes. I love that. We have a good time. That's definitely for sure. All right, let me pull my chair back in because what you guys can't see is I was sitting on it on like a crazy angle. And let's see. Let's hit this. I just want to make sure this is nice and dry. So I'm just going to kind of air it a little bit off camera. Just like I do declare, right? You know, just making sure everything is good to go with it. Because I don't want to make any of those wet marks get like smushed around. We don't want that. Oh, you're too sweet, Megan. Oh, your brother's name is Justin. Why did I not remember that? That is hysterical. All right, so we're going to go in. I'm going to take some leftover mint tape for my panel and just sort of put this down. We're going to process it through our die cutting machine. Just like this. I only have to do this one once. And this is just going to give a nice little texture to our panel. Not doing too much, just those little details. Hopefully that's the last bit of die cutting I have to do. All right, so we're just going to kind of go in, take our mint tape off. Let's see, kind of fold this open. And one thing you can actually do with this die, and I did do it for one of my creations. So these little grass bits, if you impress enough through the die cutting machine, it can actually go through the paper and you can like pop it. I would have to do it one more time, but you can like nestle little things in the little grass bits. If you can see, there's like some that are like little jagged tufts of grass. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so we've got this. Now, I also have a die cut that I've prepared, and I've got to remember the actual name. This is the brand new die cut. It is the Print Mom word die, and I have two different layers of the word and then also the shadow, and I'm just going to pop it like this. This is that Catherine Pooler favorite white cardstock, and then this is 16 Candles cardstock, also Catherine Pooler. So we're going to go in. I'm actually going to take my excess glam ink and blend the bottom of this. I'm just taking my purple brush and the excess ink I have on it, I'm just going to kind of rub off onto this paper just to sort of darken it a little bit. Still getting that 16 Candles color, but a little bit of an ombre is nice. Just kind of like a extra detail pop. And it's already on my ink brush, so I'm like not having to do too much. So there we go. Just a little bit of a blend. Way to make your stash stretch, right? All right. So what we're going to do is I've got 2 layers of the die cut word for mom from the Print Mom word die cut. And I'm going to stack them first. So I'm going to go ahead. And when I say stack, what that means is you layer them one on top of the other so that it just builds dimension without the use of like a foam adhesive. So I'm just going to kind of gently nudge them so they're nice into place and directly on top of each other. And then I'm going to use tweezers and we're going to add liquid adhesive behind this. Just like that. All right. So we're going to go in. We're going to add this to our shadow piece. Sort of nudge it around. Just like that. Oh, I love that. Perfect, perfect. Oh, it's going to pop so nicely on this card. All right, so we've got our die cut. I'm going to take a large acrylic block and just sort of put it on top to add a little bit of pressure, just like that. And now what we can do is I kind of want to arrange our little stamps. Just kind of map everything out for where we want it all to go. Let me clear off my space just a little bit. So let's see. Let's see. I love how these all work together, and it really they're going to cover up. I don't even know if I'm going to end up using all of them now that I look at it. Just so fun. Okay. So now let's see. How do we want to arrange these? Do we want to do like this and then like that? No, I don't want them too rectangular. I want them more like collage-y. All right, I think instead of this, I want to use this one. Let's do like that. And then we'll do, let's see. I'm just trying to map out how I want these all to lay before we adhere them down and I'm stuck with them, you know? And I think I want to use 5 of them. So it's kind of like an odd number arrangement. Because I could also like, how else could I do it? Nope, don't like that. Ugh. We're definitely going to do the collage. Definitely a collage of them. But I could also just like, You want to kind of arrange them in a way, though, that it's still like appealing to the eye. Ooh, we're onto something. We're onto something here. What else could we do? All right. This might be getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. All right. So I know I want to kind of nestle these two together. And I know I want to put like this over here and this over here. And then I say we do that one over there. And we're going to pop that up, and then we're going to do a sentiment stamped out underneath. And we're going to do it on white cardstock. That's exactly what it's going to be. All right. Y'all had to listen through my thought process, but we are getting somewhere. All right. So let's take some liquid adhesive and start sort of arranging these. Oh, I just love how these look. And I am going to trim the excess off of them. Just because I don't love when things overhang my card too much. If it's a little bit, I'm not opposed, but too much, I'm like, eh. All right, so we've got those two stamps. And then we're going to do this one. We got to keep the coffee cup, right? You know? And then, like I said all along, don't forget, all of these products are linked below in the description. If anything I use today inspires something you might want to add to your stash, I also think this is like, if you're looking to get some new Mother's Day creative products, this is a great time of year to snag them so you can actually use them. Before the holiday comes and you forget about them, you know. But you can also, with something like this is also a great stamp set for, or a stencil set for like a birthday for a mom. Not just Mother's Day, but like birthdays too. All right, so we're going to do down here. Just kind of overlap like this. And then let's see, we'll do mom. Like that. Down here. I think that's pretty good. All right, and then we got to do a little bit of extra stamping. So let's get my Misty out. Where is my mini Misty? That's okay. I don't have my mini one. I've got my big one though. And I want to stamp out one extra sentiment, and we'll die cut it and or trim it out and whatnot. It'll be good to go. So let's go in. I'm going to pull in. This is the Mom and Dad sentiment stamp set. And we're going to say mom, and we're going to say, what do we want to say with it? We could say Happy Mother's Day. I think we're going to say love you so much. You are the best. We'll do you are the best. I like that. And we're just going to kind of trim it like a little sentiment strip. So let's see. See, this is also when you might get a little bit of the top of my head, and that's okay. Gotta make sure this is gonna lie correctly. All right, so I might have to nudge it just a little bit, and that's okay. Oop. It's okay. We're getting there. Just want to make sure everything. Sometimes your stamps, if they're long, they'll curl, but you can use the grid lines on your Misty just to sort of line it all up. And that's what I'm doing. Alrighty. Perfect. And then let's use that glam ink one more time, because I really think it's like my favorite color that I used in this whole project. Awesome. Clean off our stamp. Ooh, it's almost lunchtime, y'all. I am getting hungry. We'll put our stamp away so I don't lose it. I know it's not fun for you guys to see me like clean up, but I'm like, if I don't clean up, I'm gonna lose everything. And then it's gonna just be a mess. So let's go in. Let's do a little bit of trimming. Perfect. Go and just kind of trim off to make it a nice little strip. It says, "You are the best." Oh, I love this. Love, love, love. Do I want a little more trim? No, that's good. All right. So now let's get a little bit of foam tape. I'm just going to take a 3mm foam tape. These are by scrapbook.com. They are my go-to. My absolute go-to. And we're just going to put this on the back of our sentiment. And we're going to trim off the excess. I always recommend using a scissors with a non-stick coating when it comes to trimming off your foam tape. It's just like that. Do a couple pieces. And voila. Perfect. So we're going to do, "Mom, you are the best." And we'll center "Mom and you are the best." And I just think the foam tape is going to add a really nice dimensional layer to our card, because everything else is just kind of adhered directly to it. And this is going to really kind of make it pop. Let's go. Just like that. That looks pretty even. "You are the best." Just like that. All right. Making sure. Oh, that lines up really nicely. Okay. I'm even thinking I might go in and change it and do a couple extra things, but let's do some trimming first. I have some ideas. All right, so just kind of trimming off the excess stamps. Perfect. And then we'll do the ones on the top edge. Okay, awesome. So let's see what else we can do. No, I don't want to do that. Sometimes I just like to go in and add our used, like trimmed off pieces to other layers of the card. And I think I'm going to, this is supposed to be like this. So I could do that. I think that works. I could use the extra one on the inside. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not like a big decorate the inside of the card kind of person, but you know what? Maybe in this instance, we'll do that. I think that's a lovely idea. For this card, and I think a mom would particularly appreciate that. And I think the extra space on this, we're just going to use enamel dots. So, all right, so let's do that. I'm going to save this, and we'll just kind of nestle that in the corner on the inside. Let's add this to an A2 sized card base. You know what, Judy? I know when I first said it, I was like, I don't do insides of the cards. And then I thought about it. You are right. I think that's going to be perfect inside the card. And I'm sorry for my smirk at it at first. because it's a brilliant idea. So we're going to just kind of line this up just like this. All right. Oh, you know what, Judy? And what we could also do is we could stamp out a sentiment on the inside too that says Happy Mother's Day. I like that. But now I'm trying to think of how I'm going to fit it inside my Misty now that I put it on the freaking card. Oh, my goodness. That's okay. That's okay. We're getting there. So let's go in. I have ideas. I have thoughts. I have ideas. So we're going to go back and we're going to hope that this works the way I want it to. Oh, washi tape would be really pretty. Really, really pretty. All right. And we're going to pull in the Mom and Dad's postage collage. No, the Mom and Dad sentiment one. And we are going to just stamp out Happy Mother's Day. Kind of in the center of the card. Like this. And I'm going to use a different color than Glam. Let's see. Let's do... I'm going to stamp it out in Samba. Keep it on the warm side. Kind of make sure it's all even. Pick it up. What did I do? Why did I stain over there? I didn't. That's okay. That's okay. Nothing a little gel pen won't fix. We're going to do it one time. I'm going to put my Misty off to the side. And we're going to take some liquid glue. Just like that. I always forget the inside. Spend so much time on the outside. I am the same way, Kristen. Just kind of use this extra stamp right on the inside. Like that. All right. Of course, getting ink everywhere, but that's the story of my life. All right. Clean up the excess and let's do a little bit of embellishment and finish this up. What do you guys think? All right, so we've got, I pulled from my stash, these are botanical enamel dots that I didn't even remember that I had. And I was like, you know what? We're going to use these for this card. And I think it's going to look just perfect. So we're going to pull in just a couple bits because they coordinate really nicely. And I'm just going to kind of play with all the different colors that are included. There's purples and dark purples, and there's even green. And let's see, we're just like that. Is that enough? I think that might be enough. All right. Just 5 little enamel dots. Oh my goodness. I really like this. This turned out so cute. And my goodness, thank you guys so much. I know this was a little bit on the longer side for a live. Thank you for sticking with me. This might be my longest one yet. But let's go over everything that we put together today because I just think this turned out so much fun. So we went in and we made a Mother's Day card using some brand new products from Waffle Flower. We used the new postage collage mom stencil set. And that's how we were able to get all of these fun images, which we spent a lot of time stenciling, and it turned out super cute. We also used the postage collage mom and dad stamp set to sort of dress up the little cards along with the postage collage stamp set as in general. We used the type mom word die for our sentiment along with the mom and dad sentiment. That one was a new, both of them are new release, just came out last week. And then we also use, what's the name of it? It's the grass texture die for the background, just to give it a little bit of glitz and glam. And I love how that looks. I think this turned out so cute. and I'm just going to have to figure out if it's going to go to my mom or my mother-in-law, because it's going to go to which one doesn't see it when it gets posted. I guess sometimes I need to start making cards and not post them and posting them after the fact, right? But anyways, thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you guys all for being here. Let's switch back to my face. And I think that this was just a super fun card to come up with today. I had so much fun making this. I am so grateful that Waffle Flower invited me to create with the new release, and that I was able to share this with everybody, because I definitely think that this is a super fun set. I also have the dad collage that I'm going to be using as well. I'm really excited to play around. I'm going to come up with a kind of a non-traditional masculine ink blend for that one, that maybe doesn't lean too heavily into just those standard blues. So definitely keep an eye on my socials for that. Let's talk about things that are coming up. This upcoming week, I have some new Catherine Pooler products that are being released on Wednesday. So you're going to be seeing some new posts from me. I think you're also going to be seeing a new release video from me on Wednesday. So like I said, like and subscribe if you haven't already for that future updates. I will also be back next Saturday. We're going to say tentatively, I believe 1 p.m. still. And I'm going to be playing with that Catherine Pooler release. So more Catherine Pooler inks, playing with the super fun release. There's also a new ink pad coming. It's called Getaway, and you will see it very soon. It's a beautiful, like light coral color. And I love it. It's going to be super fun. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. And then what else is coming up? I have a trip coming up the following week. I'm going to be in Arizona for a quick turnaround. It is crafting related. I'm very excited to take you guys kind of along with me. So make sure to stay tuned on my Instagram. I'm going to be sharing some pictures of that. I'm really excited to bring some details your way. And yeah, I think that's it for now. But I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again next week. Grateful to be back on a Instagram. This is not Instagram Live. This is not Facebook Live. This is just a YouTube live stream. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope you guys have a little bit of crafty inspiration from this card and whatever you're up to. Don't forget, everything is linked down below if you guys want to do a little bit of shopping, and I will see you next week. All right. Have a great Saturday.